All right, today's video is for @Sharp1977, one of our subscribers. So he asked for a walk around of the Japanese mini truck. This Japanese mini truck is a 1993 Suzuki Carry. I bought it in Walton, New York at Catskill Motors from a gentleman there named Nick. I highly recommend, if you're in the Northeast looking for one of these, you at least stop in and see him, because he was very good to work with. So we bought this a few years ago when we were expanding our garden into a market garden. We use large amounts of compost and wood chips, as you can see there. And prior to this, it was all moved with a tractor and a loader, and that would take forever. It was almost a full-time job with no time to actually use the material, just moving it. So our garden is quite a ways from our house. That's the roadway up there for the most part. There's no getting dump trucks or anything like that to go dump up there. So we use the Suzuki Carry to get that done. When I bought it, I put I believe it was a 2-inch lift, maybe 2.5, something like that, and some off-road tires on it pretty much on day one. Actually, it was definitely day one. It came off the trailer from being bought, right in the garage, lifted, and tires put on it. I used the factory wheels, and that was that. And then later I added the winch on the front, and I use it to plow snow in the winter. The winch raises the plow. Added some LED headlights that I had from another project, and that's about it. The winch is a winch from Harbor Freight, Badlands. It's definitely not big enough to pull the truck, but it works great for the snowplow. So the other things I've done to it is I converted it to a dump bed. They didn't have any available. Well, they did, but they were just beat to death. So this was a nicer truck, and I figured I could just build the dump part myself rather than paying more for a used, worn out kind of dump truck. In my opinion, the cost would have been the same, replacing the parts that had been worn from the abuse. So I built the frame, mounted it just like you would, like the bed mounted, a little bit beefier than the factory dump bed frame, but very similar after looking at it. And bought the hydraulic pump, I believe from Supply Center, or maybe it was Amazon, and then the hydraulic ram. And that's the dump bed. Works pretty good. I have more than once loaded this so that the compost and wood chips are heaping to the roof of the truck almost, and it handles it just fine. We're not going down the road or miles, so just up the hill. When I did the dump bed, I actually moved the bed back, I believe it was 6 inches. My original plan was to extend the cab. I am 6'3", and at first it was kind of uncomfortable getting in and out of it, but then I just got used to it and never extended the cab back. It's not needed. So we have that framework under the bed that I made at the same time, just some sheet metal and a can't remember what that hole maker is, but made that to put some ammo cans down there for storage for things I need, like irrigation fittings, sometimes some seeds in a can. I have a bunch of different ones. They're empty right now. But I then built a rear bumper for it. Put round LED tail lights, mostly because the factory ones, the lenses were cracked. They're kind of expensive, and I like the look of this. This is kind of the look of the older version of this truck, so that was just a preference thing. Built the bumper. One of the negatives of the bumper, as you can see here, the bumper hits the tailgate latches when the tailgate's folded down, so I have to come up with a better system for that, maybe this winter. The truck is, as you can see, fairly dirty. It's farming season, and we spend time in the winter getting our equipment up to where it needs to be, but it definitely doesn't get a lot of love during farming season. So she's dirty and been working all summer. Inside I just have, door's a little squeaky. Inside I have that ammo can there with some seeds that I use regularly, a torch for whatever may be needed. I don't know, I used it last to burn some holes in some plastic. Got some pliers on the dash for fixing a fence, a knife. I also use this to run down to the cows, which is, I don't know, it's about a half a mile away. And in the wintertime, I can load the bed of this up with feed for the chickens. Even though the chickens are pretty close to my house, as you've seen in other videos, my feeders hold large amounts of feed. We buy, 500 to 1,000 pounds all at once, and in the spring and fall, when it's wet out, can't drive a pickup truck across the lawn. It would be stuck, but we can use Kanishiwa and get that job done without creating any problems. So this is the walk around of the Japanese mini truck. I mean, other things I've done with it, I've put whole round bales in the bed, and they fit right in there. The sides fold down. Pull that latch handle there, and the side will fold down. It's very, very useful. I also added the LED strobe light to the roof for plowing snow in the winter. The truck's white, it's small, and occasionally I do get on the road to clear the driveway, and I want cars to be able to see me if they're coming, and I might not notice them. And the other great benefit of this in the wintertime is the heat. Plowing snow with a ATV or tractor when it's blowing is absolutely terrible, but you get in this, turn the heat on, the wipers, and it's just like driving a modern vehicle of 1993. Not sure if I mentioned, but it is four-wheel drive. Most of the time on the farm, we keep it in low range, a little bit less wear and tear on the clutch, and it keeps it at a speed that is more suitable for what we're doing. Never owned a side-by-side, so I don't have any actual reference, but the beds are smaller, and they have less carrying capacity and cost 4 times as much. So that's why we went with this. The other upgrade I did make when I built that frame system for storage boxes underneath is I upgraded the battery to a larger battery. I think that battery fits like a Honda, but that takes a little bit of the brunt running the dump bed, keeping it off the alternator. I also made these mounts and put some different mirrors on it. The original factory mirrors were really in poor condition, cracking, wouldn't stay where they were supposed to, so I made those. I just kind of like the way they look with the round, matching the round headlights. It's just a fun little project. And that is our Suzuki Carry farm truck. One other thing to mention in that is this was a deciding factor when buying it. Forgot to mention this earlier. The inside tire to tire is 36 inches. Our vegetable beds are 30 inches wide, so we can drive this right down and over a vegetable bed to compost and then just come right out the back, and the truck stays in the walkway. That was a huge deciding factor for us vegetable farming, since it's just me and my wife and we are aging. So the truck can straddle a 30-inch bed, vegetable bed, not make any impact on it, and you can literally shovel right out the back, or dump small amounts at a time. I have often wanted to come up with a contraption that would spread compost in a controlled manner out the back, but I haven't come up with that idea yet. So there's that. The bed will hold approximately 1.25 yards to 1.5 yards of compost, so very useful in that. And like I said, going to the cows in the wintertime when the fields are wet or whatever, if I don't have a bale of hay where I need it, I can take the tractor, load it somewhere else, put the big 4x5 round bale right in the bed, drive it to where it needs, and just dump it out the back. So very useful in the work we do. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have any questions, I could possibly make a video just for you. Thank you. Have a nice day.